Hello, thank you for joining us on Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguila. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has assured the business community of better days ahead. He was speaking when he met with the business community in Kano State.
The acceleration of the revamping of our nation's internal refining capacity, with the Dangote refinery coming strongly and the Port Harcourt refinery returning to active production. Of course, we also know that other refineries will come on stream, later in the year and perhaps early next year.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Information led the presidential media team to a courtesy visit on the governor, Abba Kabir Yusuf. The governor commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for opening borders between Nigeria and Niger. We turn to other issues. Nigeria's agricultural potential, we hear, are being transformed with support to farming, not only for food security, but as an antidote to insecurity and unemployment. Well, this assurance is from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to farmers when his representative visited farming communities in Jigawa State. Let's hear from Salihu Gwanara.
With a land mass of more than 22,000 square meters and about 105,000 farmers ready to cultivate 200,000 hectares for rice production, in addition to the already 55,000 hectares being cultivated for wheat production, Jigawa is among the states playing a significant role in the nation's agricultural revolution. All year-round farmers in Hadeja Jamare River Valley Irrigation Scheme received the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, who led the presidential delegation to Farmers Management Center in Auyo and Hadeja local government areas of Jigawa State to compare notes on the theory and practical aspect of agriculture, which is top on the 8-point agenda of the Renewed Hope document.
The President will ensure that he has secured every inch of this territory for all of us to live in. He is also going to ensure that all the necessary intervention and the support that the federal government needs to give will be provided for everybody that is engaged in productive agriculture, not just in farming itself, but the entire agricultural value chain.
Suleiman Ibrahim and Ali Fasaha Auyo are among farmers who now cultivate food 3 times since federal government's intervention of ensuring the steady flow of this water to their farms.
Bahari brings the project and then Tinubu go ahead with it. So we achieve many things with this project.
Cultivated by 2.5 hectares, normally I used to find like 280 bags of rice. But as now, I used to cultivate almost 250 bags.
This is evident when the team visited these maize and wheat farms in Auyo and Hadeja cultivated during dry season.
This is in line with his desire to ensure that there is food security for Nigerians. And food security entails availability, accessibility, and affordability. And we are seeing all that here. People in this community are very happy. They go to farm, 3 times a year. They do this cultivation 3 times a year, sometimes twice. This indeed will give them very high economic emancipation, and that is what Mr. President is talking about.
The minister believes government policies on agriculture are meeting the right actors who are ready to fast-track the process of food security in Nigeria. From Jigawa, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
President and Chairman Governing Council of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Ike Meliako, says NIPR is poised to put in place an effective, sustainable and well-focused framework for managing public communication in Nigeria, with the organizations of the forthcoming Spokesperson Summit. Haman Javani reports that he was speaking to journalists ahead of the summit, which is scheduled for 26th and 27th March 2024.
The summit, which is the first in the country, is believed will enhance good governance, build trust, renew hope, and promote development at all levels. President and Chairman Governing Council, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Ike Miliaku, said the summit, which is in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, seeks to strengthen capacity of spokespersons in the public, private, and civil society organizations.
There are people that have gone through such things before, and they have now become like teachers that are willing to teach the younger ones that are coming to come and learn. That's why we have put this up, so that we can help in such things. For those of you who are finding it difficult to obtain such stories, you learn how to do it better.
The narrative of changing where we are today and seeing ourselves as partners in progress. We cannot, as a country, aspire to development without integrating the media. The media is an integral part.
There are so many innovations now as far as this job is concerned, and that's why we try to gather spokespersons so that they can be updated.
The summit will address other misgivings about spokespersons and how best they can serve for national interests. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
Savicom presidency is intensifying advocacy on the need for it to stand alone as an agency of government entrusted with the mandate of promoting good governance by ensuring quality service delivery to Nigerians. This is the wish of the National Coordinator and Chief Executive Officer of the Savicom, Inenna Akajemeli, at a virtual meeting with Council of Nodal Officers to mark the 20th anniversary or 20 years of Savicom's establishment. Kenneth Nanim reports.
Savicom was established to play a pivotal role in promoting accountability, transparency, and responsiveness in the public sector, ensuring that citizens receive timely, efficient, and courteous services. 20 years down the lane, Savicom is taking stock of its performance nationwide, expressing the commitment to building on the successes recorded so far. The National Coordinator, Nenna Akajemeli, wishes that implementation of Oron Science Report does not erode the gains made in enhancing public trust and connection of citizens to government, noting that Savicom has a unique mandate and responsibilities.
Savicom needs to stand as an agency. What should be the eyes, ears, and nose of Mr. President and indeed all other arms, reporting to them on what the people perceive around the services that are delivered to them. And so, the people's priority should drive every service process and system.
The performance evaluation also reveals that Savicom needs to improve in the area of collaboration with key stakeholders to build more confidence and trust between government and citizens in line with the renewed hope agenda of the federal government. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Reintroducing jingles to sensitize the public on the need to protect government critical infrastructure is the way to go, following perceived alarming rate of vandalism across the country. Representative of the Minister of Transportation stated this when members of the broadcasting organizations of Nigeria, BON, visited the ministry in Abuja. Let's hear from Vivian Ezedefi.
The recent increasing spate of vandalization of critical government infrastructure is believed to be a source of concern to many. Major reason for this meeting initiated by BON with the Ministry of Transportation requesting the use of the media to curb social vices in the country. BON representative Tony Akiotu led other delegates to the ministry. He emphasized that stronger collaboration with the transportation sector would no doubt play a vital role.
As stakeholders in the media, we believe that we have a role to play in the promotion of public good, the protection of public infrastructure, and working with you, the police, civil defense, the Nigerian army, and all those who have roles to play in ensuring that investment by government does not come to waste.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Transportation, Olufumi Michael Olorutola, who represented the minister, noted with displeasure the use of social media by some unscrupulous elements to discredit the activities of government.
Whatever the ministry can do to partner with you, we will do. We're looking forward to this engagement, and we believe and we trust that you mean well.
He encouraged the media to bring back the use of jingles as part of efforts to conscientize the people on the need to protect government infrastructure. In Abuja, Vivian Izadefi, NTA News.
All the badly filled points which makes travel on the Lokoja-Benin Highway a nightmare will undergo reconstruction with immediate effect. Well, that's what we're hearing. This is coming out of a deal brokered by the Minister of Works, which allows an indigenous entity to take part in the reconstruction of the highway through tax credit scheme. Abdullahi Mohammed reports.
A quorum of contractors handling the reconstruction of the Lokoja-Auchi-Ekoma-Bini Highway, political representatives of the people of the 3 senatorial zones where the highway cut across, and the Minister of Works. On the table for discussion was how traveling on the Lokoja-Benin Highway could be made easier.
I just came back from the road and we had a number of agreements.
60 kilometers of the highway now handed over to an indigenous company to execute through tax credit scheme. This will be spread in 3 spots, tackling the major bottlenecks on the highway.
The issue at stake here is the road from Lokoja down to Benin, where we have 4 sections.
Management is committed, to make the necessary investment under the tax credit. This is money that is, putting, to do this road.
6 months is set and agreed as delivery date.
We are happy that through the President of the Honorable Minister, the President has given us a listening ears.
I'm happy that this is done. It's an excellent move for the 2 people.
The minister subsequently gave a directive for the immediate commencement of the project. In Abuja, Abdullah Mohammed, NTA News.
Stakeholders in various fields of expertise in the Nigerian economy have brought some key issues in the current reforms embarked upon by the Tinubu's presidency under scrutiny. Well, this was during the 44th colloquium of the former national youth leader of the governing All Progressives Congress, Ismail Ahmed, organized by Youth Progressives Forum. Political correspondent Abubakar Akwanga reports.
The wheel of progress under the progressive leadership at the center now rotates on the trajectory of a national potential for economic growth and development and setting the agenda for meeting national aspirations. The Youth Progressive Forum, on the platform of APC, established this platform where burning issues, both familiar and diverse in nature, are challenging expertise of key players in the Nigerian economy.
This basically is small, about 20-25 people to 30 people to talk about forex, food price, and the farmer.
When you talk about food security, you are talking about some indices. First, you are talking about availability. You are talking about accessibility. You are talking about affordability. And you are also talking about in the right nutritional content on a sustainable basis.
We are a growing population and every Nigerian must eat food at least once a day. So agriculture is too important.
The parties becoming clearer as conversations are getting fashionable as these issues are now to take center stage for driving sustainable reforms, prioritizing production, diversifying economy and increasing the revenue base of the country. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu extends his warmest congratulations to Africa's indigenous business leader, Mr. Tony Elumelu, on his birthday. The president celebrates the foremost businessman and philanthropist who chairs Hess Holdings, Transcorp, United Bank for Africa, and founder of the Tony Elumelu Foundation. Commending Mr. Elumelu for his industry and the uncommon spirit of excellence that governs the entirety of his enterprise, President Tinubu acknowledges the business leader's streak of genius in driving investments, creating opportunities for Africa's youth, and providing them with the necessary support. The president thanked Mr. Elumelu, who made Time's list of 100 most influential people in the world in 2020, for his steadfast and faith in the certainty of a greater Nigeria. Similarly, the president has also extended his warmest congratulations to Yeye Olufunke Daniel as she marks her 60th birthday. The president prayed for God's unceasing benevolence on her and her husband, Senator Benga Daniel, former governor of Ogun State. The president thanked Mrs. Daniel and her family for their prayers, support, as well as for their gestures of faith, trust, and espousal of progressive ideals. President Tinubu wishes her many more years in good health and strength. All right, let's cross over to Lagos to get some reports from that end as we join Adeola. Adeola.
Thank you, Ruth. The People's Republic of China says the volume of trade with Nigeria, currently put at $23 billion, is an indication of a mutually beneficial bilateral relations which both countries will continue to nurture in the interest of global prosperity. Consul General of the People's Republic of China disclosed this at a forum in Lagos tagged the Chinese in Nigeria economy, deepening development cooperation towards a shared future, a better world. Bolaji Akin completes the story.
We live in a world full
The genesis of bilateral relationship between Nigeria and China is dated back to 1971. Since then, the collaboration between the two countries has continued to wax stronger. Identified as a reliable Africa partner due to our economic development interest in the continent, China has been a major player in the promotion of economic and social development in Nigeria. According to China Consulate General, the countries believe in democracy and social justice drives a development bilateral relationship with African continent. Adding that the China-Nigeria relationship has brought about significant infrastructure, social and educational development. The bilateral relationship is also in the forefront of promoting Nigeria's digital economy.
Partnership and between China and Nigeria and between China and Africa countries. We have a long history, friendship, especially our trade, business, cooperation, cultural exchange, education cooperation are very good. And in the new center, and we hope that we can together build the shared future for mankind.
Director General of Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, Professor Ehosa Osagi, described the relationship as a win-win for the two countries.
Partnership is very pivotal to the things that we're doing, and Nigeria is not acting alone. The world today is a world of partnerships and cooperation and collaboration. So the more we're able to leverage on those things with China, with India, with Ghana, with the Ivory Coast, with South Africa, with everyone. So this is what we are doing. They need us and we need them.
The forum also featured review and unveiling of a 129-page book with 7 chapters titled The Chinese in Nigeria Economy by Ikenna Enewu. In Lagos, Bolaji Akin, NTA News.
Opportunities available in the compressed natural gas sector will not only provide additional revenue for the country, but create employment for Nigerians. This is the position of the program's director, Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, Mike Oluwagbemi, at the flag-off ceremony of the first 15 vehicles of the Nigerian Army Fleet Auto Switch kickoff in Lagos. Lynn Lenake reports.
As part of measures to cushion the effects of fuel subsidy removal, President Bola Tinubu has approved the establishment of the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative. The project targeted to divert the over-reliance on fuel vehicles to compressed natural gas. This exercise by the Nigerian Army's Supply and Transport Corps and the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative is a demonstration of the federal government's commitment to promote an eco-friendly environment and cost-effective alternative fuel for mobility within the Nigerian Army fleet.
The fleet switch to compressed natural gas is expected to enhance the Nigerian Army's constitutional and operational responsibilities.
The President has set out a goal for us that in 4 years' time, 2027, 1 million vehicles in Nigeria should be running on CNG. And the federal government is making provisions to ensure this is possible on its part to catalyze the investments that is necessary to make this a reality. Of course, it can only do a little part of it. The private sector will have to do its part. Investments in infrastructure like refueling stations, we need 3,000 of them. Conversion centers, we need about 1,000 of them to make this go. We even need mini LNG plants, one in every state capital of the Federation and the FCT. That requires quantum level of investment.
11 Nigerian Army personnel have been selected for the training, which will last for 2 weeks.
Course of supply and transport and electrical and mechanical engineer partner with the Presidential Committee on Natural Gas, the initiative, to ensure that they're able to transfer this technology to the Army, to ensure that we're able to use this to improve our operational efficiency.
The outcome of this initiative will spur other agencies to key into the compressed natural gas to reduce over-dependence on petrol. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
And those are stories from Lagos. We'll take a break now, and when we return, the news will continue with Ruth in Abuja. Please stay.
Good to have you there. Oversight functions of the National Assembly will help to promote transparency and accountability in government operations. Minister of Police Affairs Ibrahim Gaidam stated this when the House Committee on Police Affairs visited the ministry. Francis Pham reports.
It is the maiden visit of the Police Affairs Committee of the House of Representatives to the Ministry of Police Affairs. The visit is to acquaint the committee with the workings of the ministry and to also find out the policies put in place.
We have no option than to work together to ensure the gaps in between the provision of the security are identified and closed.
The ministers assured the committee that all the policies and programs of the federal government are geared towards a technologically driven police force that will enable them to tackle the security challenges in the country.
The current police reform going on in the Ministry of Police Affairs emphasizes the importance of professional ethics and integrity. Upholding the principles of fairness, transparency, and accountability is paramount to winning the trust and confidence of Nigerians.
In line with His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's vision of an intelligence-led, technology-driven, and community-based policing, we are working to achieve around our priority areas.
The Police Affairs Minister commended the National Assembly because such exercises will help to build public trust in the governance process. Francis Pham, NTA News.
The Minister of Defense, Muhammad Badaru Abubakar, has pledged to unravel those behind the slain military personnel in Delta State. The minister, who stated this while addressing commanders and troops of 1 Division Nigeria Army in Kaduna, also says the government will ensure safe return of the abducted Kuriga school pupils in Chekun local government area of the state. Aruna Muhammad reports.
The Minister of Defense, Muhammad Badaru Abubakar, on an operational visit to Kaduna State. Addressing the frontline troops and commanders, the minister charged them to ensure the safe return of the abducted Kuriga school children and others in captivity back to their families.
They are briefed fully well. The military, in coordination with other security agencies, are doing their best, and we are seeing the possibility of releasing them in sight. And I'm sure we'll hear good news.
He pledged to unmask those behind the killings of the military personnel on peace mission in Delta State, adding that they have thrown the armed forces into mourning.
We really sympathize with the family, the armed forces of Nigeria as well. And indeed, it's a very, very, very sad development. Those people will not be left unpunished. We'll find them, certainly we'll find them, and we'll punish them.
The visit by the minister is a morale booster as the troops exhibit loyalty to ending insecurity in Nigeria. In Kaduna, I am Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
In line with that development, in view of the increase of adoption of school children, the Defense Headquarters is developing and adopting holistic approach measures for the attainment of the intent and objectives of Nigeria's Safe School Initiative. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, stated this at the Armed Forces of Nigeria Summit on Safe Schools 2024 in Abuja.
For our dear nation, that every stakeholder works assiduously to build a strong, safer, more secure and prosperous future for our children and our beloved country. We must continue to strive to maintain a society where every child has the opportunity to learn, grow and maximize their potentials as well as fulfill their dreams.
The Safe School Summit will provide an avenue for stakeholders in education to deliberate on relevant strategies and SOP that will ensure our schools are devoid of every form of security threat.
In the last 3 months, more than 300 school children were kidnapped, mostly from the northwest. Minister of State for Education, Dr. Yusuf Tanko Sununu, stressed government's commitment in giving education a safe environment.
We would see that, look, the government is committed to giving education under safe environment.
If you look at the sources of funding in the national plan, which is National Plan on Financing Safe Schools between 2023 to 2026, there is commitment that is ought to come from the subnationals. It's a plan where you have commitments from the 3 tiers of government. We need to have the local content before we even, reach out to partners.
The summit is expected to provide solutions to the compelling security challenges in the country. Minister for Education, Professor Tahir Mamman, has underscored the potential for a partnership with United States of America in the areas of cultural exchange, television and filmmaking in higher education. This was when the minister received a delegation from the United States of America led by the Assistant Secretary of State for Educational and Cultural Affairs, Lee Sauterfield, in his office. He expressed enthusiasm for collaboration on matters of education and culture. The Minister of State, Dr. Yusuf Tanko Sununu, reiterated the long-standing cordial relationship between the 2 countries and highlighted areas of assistance to include addressing the issue of out-of-school children, enhancing teachers' quality, and improved technical and vocational education.
Activities.
Assistant Secretary of State for Educational and Cultural Affairs, Lee Sauterfield, expressed readiness to collaborate with the ministry. She believed this would spawn numerous innovations and ideas that will contribute to a brighter future for the people of Nigeria. The Nigerian Television Authority has reiterated its commitment to leverage its wide reach to promote learning and educational activities in the country. Omenka Amarachuku reports that this was the position of the organization when its management played host to old students of the Federal Girls College, Bidda, Niger State, who came on a familiarization visit.
But we also understand the strength, the power and the network of a Nigerian Television Authority. And that is why we have come here today to pay this courtesy visit, not just because of our anniversary, but to see what we could also do on a long-term basis, because all of us are scattered all over the 36 states of Nigeria. I'm sure in each of the 774 local government of Nigeria you will find one of us, and we would like to partner, work with you to see how you can support us.
It's a laudable cause, and if all old students associations go back to give back to school, many schools will not need to wait for government to come and make them better, because little contributions go a long way to making schools great again. And the mere fact that you're talking about mentoring and all that, when they see you going back to the school again and again and again, they're encouraged to pay attention, they become better students, and they look forward to graduating and growing up and being better people and big people in society.
Which has produced many notable women in society, would be celebrating its 50 years of existence later in the year, and the alumni are dedicated in giving back to their alma mater. An Abuja-based Islamic scholar, Malam Abdullah Musa, has attributed hues and cries by some Nigerians on the current unfavorable economic condition as part of life challenges. However, he urged them to appreciate Allah's countless bounties on them, seek forgiveness, and return to Him as He professed solutions to problems. Speaking on reconnecting with Allah in times of hardship at the Ramadan lecture, an iftar organized by Obafemi Awolowo Muslim Graduates Association in Abuja, the lecturer cited verses of the Holy Quran, which indicates every believer must face challenges, tribulations, and trials, but only the patient ones have good tidings, because along every difficulty there is relief.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the glorious Quran that difficulties, tests, trials are inseparable from our lives. It's part and parcel of us being humans. It wasn't smooth for the prophets of Allah. It will not be smooth for us. It is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses to distinguish those that are truthful in their proclamation of La ilaha illallah and those that are just paying mere lip service. We should rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but this does not negate the fact that those that are charged with the responsibility come up with solutions that will solve the problems that people are faced with, but they should also depend on Allah.
When Almighty Allah tests you, you should be patient, because He's testing you for a purpose, and we all heard that. So it's about passing that test, having faith in the Almighty Allah, and being patient enough to pass through that test. And it's a lesson for every one of us. You may think you have a problem, but the next person has a bigger problem. You don't know what he's going through.
He said if Allah loves His servants, they are tested with challenges for them to turn to Him, to have faith in Allah, which is better than blessings that makes them forget Him. All right, we'll pause from our end. We want to cross over to Ibadan. Let's join Larry. He has some reports for us from there.
Good to see you, Ruth, and welcome to Ibadan. The need for government at all levels to entrench discipline, fear of God, selflessness, and patriotism in governance form the basis of NTA Ibadan Abdulaziz Arishekola Alao Annual Memorial Ramadan Lecture held at Studio 3, NTA Ibadan Network Center. Rafia Animachan Badmus has the details.
The annual Memorial Ramadan Lecture charged Nigerian leaders to fulfill promises made to their constituents and emulate the virtues of Prophet Muhammad. Followers were also told to be committed and loyal.
If we want good governance, good leadership, there must be good followership. We need to be good followers to our leaders in order to get that goodness we are yearning for.
We are asking for good governance. If we ask people who wants change, everybody wants change. Then if you ask people who want to change, nobody wants to change.
Islamic scholars, dignitaries, and others at the lecture reflect on the life and times of late Arishekola Alao.
He could be described as a desideraton, somebody that has his tentacles spread all over.
Arishekola touched so many lives. This is a manifestation of the fact that if you do good, you must reap good.
Regardless of your religion, try as much as possible to fulfill your promise.
The Memorial Ramadan Lecture is the 10th in its series in Ibadan. Rafia Animachan Badmus, NTA News.
Over 100 people in Onwara local government area of Oyo State have benefited from the National Youth Service Corps Health Initiative for Rural Dwellers. The free medical outreach was held at the primary health center located at Kwalupo in the local government area. Lukman Hassan tells us more.
As is to provide quality health care for them. The initiative focused on health challenges such as malaria, BP, diabetes, and diarrhea, among others. Oyo State Coordinator, National Youth Service Corps, Odoba Abel Oche, represented, noted that the health initiative, apart from free treatment of patients, distributed food items to the needy.
Because we believe the government cannot do it all alone. So we came up, NYC came up with this program so that we'll be able to, the scheme will be able to complement the efforts of the government.
Members of Palupa community, while thanking the NYC for the initiative, said the outreach will boost their health.
Happy today to see them because they are performing wonders. Pray that God will continue to be with them, guide them, and save them. Thank them that they did well with us because they didn't take anything from us.
Tuberculosis test was also conducted on those who attended the free medical outreach. In Ibadan, Lukman Hassan, NTA News.
And those are the trending reports from Ibadan. This hour nationwide continues with Asmao at our Sokoto Network Center after this break. Stay with us.
Good evening and welcome to Nationwide from Sokoto Network Center. Minister of Power and Sokoto State Government are enhancing synergy towards generation of stable power supply in the state. This came to the limelight during a one-day working visit by the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, to Sokoto State. Dalhata Abdullahi has the details.
Sokoto State has 733 11 kV injection substations, which are inadequate to meet the electricity needs of the state that is experiencing epileptic power supply. The purpose of the Power Minister's visit is to interact with the state government and on the areas of generation, transmission and distribution of electricity and ascertain how the ministry can partner with the state to ensure the delivery of stable and cost-effective electricity supply to the people of Sokoto State.
We must be able to go to the site ourselves and see the states of this infrastructure and confirm what we need to improve the states is either we upgrade those in dilapidated states or replace those are no longer working.
Governor Ahmed Aliyu informed the minister that the previous administrations in the state invested a lot of resources to establish state-owned independent power plant, which is, however, not yet operational due to some administrative and legal bottlenecks, and solicit the Ministry of Power's collaboration in the development of the power sector for socio-economic growth and development of the state and the country.
But I'm sure with you on board, the people of the Sokoto State will start smiling that gigantic project is going to be put into use.
The power sector from the exclusive legislative list empowers state governments and private partners to generate, transmit and distribute electricity in Nigeria. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Weak routine immunization, poor remuneration, lack of involvement of community and religious leaders have been identified as some of the major challenges militating against containment of the variant polio virus in Sokoto State. This was the consensus of a stakeholders meeting at the Specialist Hospital Sokoto, organized to find homegrown solutions to the variant virus in the state. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa reports.
The stakeholders' engagement was convened to discuss ways to prevent spread of the variant polio virus, following a stakeholders forum summoned by Governor Ahmed Aliyu recently. The thrust of the discussion is to identify the major causes of non-compliance to polio vaccination in the state. A detailed presentation was made on the mode of transmission and dangers of the virus.
Beside the wild polio virus that we have in circulation, that we have been able to eradicate it from Nigeria, we still have the younger brothers as well as the cousins of wild polio virus, which we call them circulating vaccine polio viruses, which act in the same manner as the wild polio virus.
The governor of the state, His Excellency Ahmed Aliyu Sokoto, has called on all well-to-do and people to support this program. So I feel I should be the first person to initiate this call, to answer the call of His Excellency. So that's why we feel that Tambo should come first.
The meeting is a step towards tackling the issue from the grassroots, where the participants are expected to apply the takeaways in their various communities to achieve the desired goals. The stakeholders suggested, among others, that traditional rulers be accorded vital role to play, inclusion of representatives of religious sects, timely payment of vaccinators, and disinfecting of drainage system as critical to the success of the vaccination program. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Ruth in Abuja for the continuation of the news.
Thank you, Asmao. Conversations are ongoing on how best to collect and standardize data on persons with disabilities in Nigeria as a veritable tool for policy planning and implementation. This is the rationale for the visit by the Executive Secretary of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, James Lalu, to the National Bureau of Statistics. He noted that collection of disability disaggregated data will assist in building an understanding of the requirements and priorities of persons with disabilities in the country.
For many years, and I've tried to disaggregate data in the areas of disability. It will be very important for us to be able to accumulate all of this data in one place to enable us to have direct focus and ideas about what is happening on disability across the federation.
So that we'll be able to have a positive view of where we are present, because having section or module in itself cannot provide all the indicators for disability. So the gaps that may be observed means that there will be need for us to now collect data to feed those gaps.
Secretary also noted that data will in very many cases be sufficient for making informed decisions about mainstreaming disability inclusion across Nigeria. And still on promoting inclusion, the Global Disability Inclusion Project Group is strengthening the capacity of key players in the health sector to design a people-centered mental health care policy actually for persons who suffer leprosy, tuberculosis and other ailments categorized under neglected tropical diseases in Nigeria. The program is an intervention model expected to raise awareness against discrimination and stigmatization among persons with disabilities.
We want people to know that they are humans like every other human being. They eat what we eat. They breathe what we breathe. They live the life we live. The difference is because they have been infected with a particular condition that you are not immune to.
Instead of having a view of discrimination against people suffering with certain issues, instead you now have empathy and you have compassion for them and see how you can help them, bring them out of those issues.
Are we who have suffered this disease are part of the people developing this arts, because we live it, we have the experience. We are the people that will say this is where we are stigmatized, this is what it means to be stigmatized.
The WHO target for 2030 for elimination of NTDs is achieved. Like Nigeria has been one of the countries that have been able to develop the roadmap.
From the media, health workers, development partners, the two-day event is expected to come up with a model to support government with best practices in attainment of universal health coverage. Having a structured environment and building trust with the diaspora is a major step towards encouraging investment in Nigeria. Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, Nigerians and Diaspora Commission, NIDCAM, Abike Dabiri-Erewa, emphasized this while partnering with Octiva Capitals Group in order to encourage and project investment opportunities for Nigerians in diaspora. Oyeyemi Ajayi reports that part of the essence of the partnership is to boost confidence in Nigerians in diaspora to securely invest in Nigeria without fear of being swindled.
See it. When you look at a population of 220 million, 240 million people, if you compare that to the United States, which is 330 million people, that talks about the captive market that Nigeria is. And obviously there's a lot of international interest and you know, to invest into Nigeria.
So we encourage Nigerians, invest in your own country. Because a lot of Nigerians are investing in other parts of the world. And we hope to work with you in that regard. And hopefully we can continue to encourage our brothers and sisters to think of home first. And even the Nigerian government, in talking about foreign direct investment, your first line of contact should be Nigerians in the diaspora.
That concludes Nationwide. Thank you for your company. Do have a beautiful evening. I'm Ruth Aguera. Bye.